Welcome to the Dispense Magazine podcast with news and information about medical cannabis. We talk about the things you and your doctor might talk about. I'm your host, Sven Hosford. In this episode, it's Cannabis Conversations at Solevo Wellness. This is part 2 of a discussion on pain management and opioid addiction. In this episode, we hear from medical QiGong doctor Daniel Johnson as he gives us an overview of pain management from the Chinese medicine perspective. Recorded live at Solevo Wellness in Pittsburgh on September 24th, 2018. As you can see, this brings up the question of what tools do we have to deal with pain? And obviously that's why this entire industry of the cannabis industry is here. But when I was in the Navy, we lived by a couple of rules. One of those rules was when your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And if you wanted options, you just get a bigger hammer, right? And that's kind of what the pharmaceutical industry sounds like. Let's just get a bigger hammer. But we had another rule in the Navy, and that rule was use every tool in the toolbox. But this also implies that you have a toolbox. So what we are going to offer you tonight is not just another tool, but another whole paradigm, a whole nother way of thinking about things, and that's with Chinese medicine. So we're going to have Daniel Johnson come up and give us your presentation. Thank you. Daniel Johnson, medical.
I'd like to thank Solevo for having me here today. I'm very excited to share something I'm very, very passionate about, and that's Chinese medicine. My name is Daniel Johnson. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I'm an herbalist. I'm a Doctor of Medical QiGong. I've spent 11 years in school studying Western science, studying nutrition, studying herbal medicine, studying acupuncture to help people develop new strategies and have new pathways for understanding ways of navigating life. I have a practice over in Fox Chapel at the Way Wellness Center. We work with people from all over to work with pain, we'll cover everything that Chinese medicine can work with, but we have many, many different ways of helping people to develop strategies to help to improve their lives. So I think of Chinese medicine as an umbrella. So everyone knows what an umbrella looks like. It has a handle and it has a canopy. The handle of Chinese medicine, it's biomedical science. Everything that's practiced and understood within the scientific process is Chinese medicine. And then we have the canopy. Then we have this other perspective as we look up and we can look to see how we have so much more space above us. We have ways of understanding how there's interrelationships between individual pieces within the puzzle, which is our life. So rather than just trying to find one single answer or one single medication or one single diagnosis to help to understand the complicated nature that we are, Chinese medicine understands patterns, and we understand patterns of health, we understand patterns of balance and imbalance. And by understanding these complex patterns, we have many different ways of helping to induce a change to another pattern. So we have this very active way to cultivate life, to make changes in our daily practices. So Chinese medicine understands how it's not just one, it's many. The history of Chinese medicine, this medicine's over 10,000 years old. It developed from Taoist practices. It developed when as humans, as individuals, we lived very, very close to the land. And as we lived close to the land, it was very, very important for us to pay attention to what's happening, to pay attention to the seasons, to make sure that we're getting the right food, to make sure that we're securing our stocks so that we can make it through the long, cold winters. So through this understanding of living close to the earth, the Chinese developed this perspective of being a gardener, of understanding how to cultivate health, of understanding all of the different aspects that are used by our physiology, by our physical body, but also by our mind and also by our heart and spirit that helps us to grow, to become better, stronger, healthier people. in our culture that we live in. So Chinese medicine is a complete system of health that integrates internal and external factors of understanding health and disease. As we look at our culture now, like we're very far disconnected from the natural world. We have so much technology. Our culture goes so quickly. We can order things immediately. We don't always put a lot of work into it. Now, we expect something to happen right now. And as we're looking at integrative perspectives for how cannabis can help to support with pain, can help to support our livelihoods, it's finding a wider approach, how we can look at the formulas of health. We can look at how to use plant medicine using cannabis, but also how that can build into using different mindfulness exercises, using different physical treatments with exercise, with massage, with chiropractic, with acupuncture treatments, and how that can build upon and help to rebalance and to provide us greater health and recovery. So the Chinese provide this model of healthcare, and it's understanding an eco-bio-psycho-social model of care. So as we understand the ecology of our life, we understand how we have weather around us. We have an environment. So we understand our biology. We understand the physical changes of our organ systems. We understand the physical changes of our digestive system, of our nervous systems, of all the different endocrine systems within our body. We understand the power of our psychology, of our mind, as well as understanding the power of our social systems and our degrees of social support. So when looking at understanding pain and understanding these connections, all of these, the eco-bio-psycho-social, are held with even regards. And if we isolate one, we miss out on the big picture. So within that same model, as we're looking at describing patterns of pain or patterns of addiction, we have a subtle vocabulary and language system to describe subclinical patterns so that we can begin to help people before it snowballs into larger issues and problems. So as we look at Chinese medicine, there's 4 pillars. The Chinese understand how we're very, very complicated, this thing of humanity that we have. And as we're very, very complicated, they can often see that our body and our condition is like a lock. And as with any good lock, it involves a very specific key in order to turn the tumbler to unlock it, to make it change. So within this medicine, we use, there's 4 different components. We look at acupuncture, look at massage therapy, bodywork, look at nutrition, herbal medicine, and QiGong. QiGong being mindfulness, meditation, and self-reflective practices. So with these 4 different components, by practicing Chinese medicine, we have a very different perspective, and we outline a map for us, for each individual, for a therapist as well as a client to navigate our world through and to have an active path on making changes as we encounter different problems along the way. One of the main practices in Chinese medicine is acupuncture. Acupuncture is the practice of using single-use, sterile, disposable needles and placing it delicately into the skin in different places around the body. As we work with acupuncture, we have a very powerful way of helping to regulate our body, to regulate and to relax our minds. As we use acupuncture, we have a very powerful way of helping to reduce pain. We have a very powerful mechanism for inducing a deep change within our physical body. The power of acupuncture, I think of acupuncture as the ability to press Control, Alt, Delete. Like our bodies get very, very complicated. Our minds get complicated. We get under stress. We get in pain. We get caught up into things. And to have a tool that allows us to reset a master signaling system within inside the body, that gives us an opportunity to reload our original manufactured settings. Like we work with computers, so I hope this analogy sort of fits through. Like how oftentimes do we have to reset our phones and our computers? How often do we reset ourselves? How often are we trying to find neutral? Are we trying to to notice what's happening inside of our bodies, to be able to relax our mind, to be able to find our breath so that we can understand what we're truly experiencing right now. So this is a really powerful gift that comes from an acupuncture treatment. Using acupuncture, we often use these needles. We'll put them around the body in different places. And as they're placed, it takes 10, 15 minutes for your body to react, and a change has begun. As we use acupuncture, we start to see how these changes are beginning to initiate and change over the next week or so. So often with these treatments, we'll receive a treatment once a week for a few weeks, notice changes, and begin to spread things out. A number of years ago, the National Institute of Health and the World Health Organization have found that acupuncture to be effective for treating many, many different things in the body. If we are able to look at the slide, it looks at different systems within the body, understanding stress, understanding the digestive system, the respiratory system, working with our hormonal systems, working with our endocrine system, our nervous system. Acupuncture can help with reducing stress. It's been used for many years for helping to break addictions. In the 70s, in New York City, to treat opioid addiction, a system of acupuncture called the NADA protocol was developed, and this is for the NADA, the National Acupuncture Detoxification Association, and this is using auricular acupuncture points, so points placed in the ear, 5 on either side, that help to regulate our autonomic nervous systems, that help to increase and change the way that our mind is signaling, that helps us to break patterns, helps us to relieve pain, to release stress, and to balance our nervous system. Many different styles of acupuncture, as this is thousands of years old. As an acupuncturist is working with an individual, they can aim the treatment method. It's just like having a private chef. So as a therapist, we can help to provide a very potent prescription to the individual that comes in to create a opportunity for their body to reset, as well as to help to provide herbs or help to provide different nutritional methods or different breathing practices or different physical movement practices that would help them to find balance and to reset the program so that they can, or to reload a new program of change over the next few weeks. So ways in which acupuncture works, we can understand how, as we're using acupuncture, we're needling the body in different ways, and how, as we break the skin with the needle, we can change the immune system. As we're breaking the skin with an acupuncture point, we're challenging the body to do something different. So as we put 5, 10, 15 points around the body, your nervous system is awakened. We're checking in with your body's signaling systems. So as we break the skin, we're challenging the immune system. As we needle the body, every time you needle the body, you're tapping into the body's natural ability to release endorphins. So when you needle the body in a different way, the body's endogenous endorphin system is upregulated. So things are released into the system to help with pain management. When we're doing acupuncture, we're releasing different neurotransmitters throughout the body. So we have different mood elevators, we're working with serotonin, working with dopamine in different ways. Different systems of acupuncture working throughout the body, working specifically at the ear, working specifically at the scalp. As Dr. Metcalf was talking about, how some of the different medications are changing the way in which our body is signaling and reorganizing the way in which it's processing the opioids. Well, we can work with the needling over different cortical regions to get similar changes. It's fascinating if you look up, like, studying scalp acupuncture or neurological applications for acupuncture. With acupuncture, we change the circulatory system. Every time we're needling the body, we're vasodilating and we're guiding blood. So if we look at flow and or patterns of congestion, we want to help to promote flow and get rid of congestion. And that's pretty simple as we use the needles. They look at the gate control models. So understanding, as we're using acupuncture, how our nervous system is always sending signals back and forth to the body. And by applying a needle to a particular place, sometimes just by that itself with a manual stimulation or with an electronic stimulator, with electric acupuncture, one's able to balance the autonomic nervous system. We can help to reset it. We can work with the nerve thresholds that are going to be creating signals for pain awareness or signaling. Some newer research is coming out and it's looking at how the mechanism of acupuncture is actually regulating the body's endocannabinoid system. So this idea of using medical cannabis with acupuncture treatments to gain greater efficacy of both is very, very promising in understanding how to work together as a team there. So as we look at different ways of integrative pain management, Chinese medicine, we're looking at helping to regulate this endocannabinoid system. We're helping to regulate the body's natural master signaling system. We can call it what we would like to. We're helping to regulate the body. We're not just the back, not just the neck, not just the opioid system, but the entire body. If we can help to regulate the system, if we can help to reset our system, well, we have a lot more, we have a holistic perspective on helping to engage this eco-biopsychosocial model of care, this complete holistic model of helping to make a bigger change in not just that person's physical body, but also in their mind, to give them different therapy, different support tools, to help to provide people different skills that they can use on their own that do not require external help. So we can use the external help, we can use the herbs, we can use cannabis, we can use the physical treatments, but we can also have different mindfulness practices, different breathing practices, different exercise practices, different ways of getting outside and getting closer to nature that help with relaxation and help with growing our potential to become healthier, stronger, better people. With understanding pain management, Chinese medicine looks at things in terms of excess and deficiency. So to understand excessive pain, how to reduce something that is very, very strong. The Chinese have this concept of deficiency. Oftentimes our body, if we're working 70-hour weeks, if we haven't been feeding ourselves very well, if we've been doing this for years and years and years and years, our bodies can be depleted, our savings can be withdrawn, and we can be running on, if we've been burning the candle at both ends for years, we don't have a whole lot of resources to support our adaptive capacity. So we have to tonify ourselves, we have to nourish ourselves, we have to find different strategies for building health, for building qi, for building energy in the body. I think that's a really potent aspect of this medicine is we understand how to generate health. We grow, we garden the body, the mind, and the spirit. And we do this using all the different tools found in the medicine. One of the most potent aspects of this medicine, understanding how to build health and to help to reestablish healthy living practices, is understanding nutrition, understanding herbal medicine. Herbal medicine practices thousands and thousands of years old, and we're understanding food, understanding how to use real food that's grown in the ground, that grown in good soil, that provides nutrition, that provides phytonutrients that help to support our body's need to grow stronger, healthier, and become more efficient as we move forward. Our food supply is not that good. There's a lot of fast food, a lot of processed food, a lot of toxins in our food, a lot of genetically modified things. All of that impacts our ability to be vibrant and to be healthy. So when exploring herbal medicine, it's really, really important to understand and try to find purity of source, to try to find good, to know the farmer, to help to understand that our food sources are going to be beneficial to us. So like that which is to feed us, that it's not going to hurt us. When understanding herbal medicine, they have formulations. And just like as we like to cook food, we want to have different spices, we want to have different parts of that meal. Well, we're not just going to take one herb, we're going to add combinations of things, because combinations taste better. Combinations tend to have more they can be refined and created in a way that are going to be more individualized for our taste or for our health benefits. So often herbal formulas in Chinese medicine might have 10 or 12 different 10 or 12 different herbs involved into it. Or they wouldn't just use an isolated extract. They're using broad spectrum plants. They're using broad spectrum formulations to induce greater changes. The Chinese talk about, so in herbal medicine, it's a conversation to have at another time, but they'll look at the energetics of plants, and they understand how different herbs can lift us up. Different herbs can help us to relax and draw down. Certain things can get us animated and active. Certain things can really draw us into ourselves. They have a language to describe herbal medicine using yin and yang, understanding opposition, understanding polarity. And they have this thing called a materia medica, which is, there's 10,000 herbs in the Chinese materia medica, 10,000 different plants that are used to create changes in our body. These all have similar, and the language system used to describe this is accessible to us all and can be very, very helpful for us to navigate understanding how to use these plants. So as we are exploring how to work with pain management, understanding different lifestyle factors that help us to regulate our bodies, helping with pain, helping with inflammation, helping with relaxing our minds, as we're applying this medicine and understanding how to use cannabis, I feel the philosophy of Chinese medicine can be very, very, especially that of Chinese herbal medicine, can be very powerful to consider when working with medical cannabis, as we're looking to work with different products that are going to be from really good sources, that we're going to try to find products to help to use that entourage effect, to find not just single isolated components, but understanding how all the different cannabinoids and the terpenes and the different phytonutrients found within the plants can impact our body. But then also, how can we combine cannabis with other plants, with other teas, with other nutritional practices or other physical exercises to get a larger impact on breaking the pattern of addiction, helping to reduce pain, and helping to improve the quality of our lives. So does anybody have any questions?
Question. With the herbal medicines that you're talking about, have you seen any that work particularly well or not so well with medical cannabis?
Sure. In our office,
conflicting or working, synergistic or not?
Yeah. So the strategies in Chinese herbal medicine for working with pain, oftentimes we're using blood-moving herbs. We're using different herbs that are anti-inflammatory. They're promoting circulation, and they're helping to get rid of congestion found in the body in different places. When we look at different herbal medicine, they have this idea of having a vector. So different herbs can be guided to different parts of the body. So in my clinic, I work with a lot of people that have pain, arthritic pains, say neck pain versus like back pain. So in my office, I use more CBD products. Using medical cannabis, having THC is going to be very effective if combined with different herbal formulas. Like there's different herbs that can be combined with that can guide the effect to the neck and shoulders. There's different herbal formulas that can help to support circulation into the lumbar spine, to help to drive impact into the bones, to help to support the production of blood in different parts of the body, different depths. So as we look at the type of pain that a person might be understanding or might be experiencing, we can look at the depth of that pain, and if it's at the surface or if it's at the deeper parts of the body, and then using cannabis combined with the Chinese herbal formula that would guide that effect to different parts, or that would help to build upon it. That's something that I do in my office. I could say some Chinese names, but it wouldn't be very helpful right now.
That concludes part 2 of this cannabis conversation at Solevo Wellness. Join us again next time when we'll hear from Richard Greer, Director of Pharmacy at Solevo Wellness, and continue with more questions for all of our panelists about pain management and opioid addiction. Thanks for listening. This podcast is a production of Mindful Medicine, LLC.